Lebanon, where Israel has launched its largest wave of attacks in years. This was the moment when an Israeli airstrike hit southern Lebanon, sending people running for cover. It's just one of numerous explosions in the area in just the past few hours. Israel has been warning civilians in Lebanon to move away from what it claims are places being used to store weapons used by Hezbollah. The military has been sending text messages, placing recorded calls and issuing warnings over the radio. It says it will bomb houses where it suspects weapons are being stored.
This is an advance warning for your own safety and the safety of your family. We advise civilians from Lebanese villages located in and next to buildings and areas used by Hezbollah for military purpose, such as those used to store weapons, to immediately move out of harm's way for their own safety.
We're covering this story from all sides. Imran Khan is in southern Lebanon, where Israeli airstrikes have been taking place. Dorsa Jabari will bring us the mood from the capital, Beirut. And from Amman, Zain Bazravi will tell us what the Israeli army is saying. And of course, we'll have the latest on Israeli attacks in Gaza with Tarek Abu Azoum. But we begin with this from Zaina Khoda, who is near the city of Tyre, where large explosions have been taking place this morning.
There's a lot of panic. As you can see, people are leaving the area because there's been another Israeli airstrike. These airstrikes have been happening since the early hours of the morning, in fact, in recent days. And we are very, very close to the southern city of Tyre. That is a very densely populated city, some 25 kilometers from the border. The feeling here is that the Israeli military wants to drive people out of southern Lebanon, causing another crisis that could be used as leverage against Hezbollah. We're not able to reach the site of the strike. There's a lot of chaos here. They are worried that there's going to be another strike. There's panic and chaos. We are very close to one of the most densely populated cities in the south of the country. This conflict is moving beyond the border, and this conflict is becoming more intense.
OK, let's speak to Mairav Zonszein. She is the senior Israel analyst with the International Crisis Group. She joins us from Tel Aviv. So we're just talking about these recent developments this morning and over the course of the last few days, the increasing intensity of strikes by Israel into Lebanon, the text messages and warnings from the Israeli government to ordinary citizens in Lebanon. What is your sense of what Israel is planning in Lebanon next?
I think Israel has decided that it is going to try to push the limits of the paradigm that we've been in for the last 11 months, and it has decided that it is not going for a ceasefire in Gaza. I think Netanyahu has made that quite clear in recent weeks and probably even months. And so in lieu of a ceasefire in Gaza and in lieu of de-escalation in the north, which is what Hezbollah has stipulated, Israel is trying to decouple the front. It's trying to separate what's happening in Gaza from what's happening in Lebanon, and it is pushing and risking all-out war with Hezbollah at this point in order to try and send a message and see if Hezbollah will climb down the tree. I don't expect that to happen, but it looks like this is what Israel is trying to do right now.
And we've been discussing on the program this playbook that we've seen by Israel in Gaza before, Israel warning people to get out of the way, to leave their homes via text messages and so on. And then if civilians do die or lose their life, they say Hamas, or in this case, Hezbollah, is just shielding themselves behind ordinary people. How does this whole thing play with ordinary Israelis?
I mean, I think the average Israeli is still in a serious state of uncertainty and shock from October 7th and from the continued endless war. There are also many of them very unhappy with the government, with the failure to reach a hostage deal. But if you ask people, they want Israel to take care of the threat of Hezbollah. They don't necessarily know how to achieve that. They don't necessarily know what the price might be in doing that, but they feel that the threat that Hezbollah poses, both by the Radwan forces on the ground and also the rockets and precision-guided missiles, are a threat that needs to be handled at some point, and they might feel like that some point has already reached its level now.
Israel has now made the return of people back home to the north a war goal. How much does that resonate with the Israeli people?
I mean, again, it's hard to talk about Israeli people as a monolith. There's, different views, but all in all, Israelis have been calling, especially those who have been evacuated, over 60,000 people who have been outside their homes for a year now and have no idea when they can go back, if ever. They have been calling on the government to make that a war goal and to pursue that from the very beginning. So this is something that they've been waiting for. Now, there are some who think that Israel should invade Lebanon and occupy Lebanon. We've heard that also from far-right politicians. But there are also people who think that, especially a lot of former defense officials, who believe that now is not the time, after a year of war on several fronts, for Israel to enter further into an escalation, and that believe that either way, the diplomatic understandings that can be reached would be almost the same as what can be achieved through some kind of military escalation. So it depends on who you ask.
Okay. Thank you for your analysis. Mairav Zonszein, Senior Israel Analyst with the International Crisis Group, speaking to us there from Tel Aviv.
Thank you.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.